Okay, I'm creating a record types for the resource, and we have some familiar fields, right? So it will be easy to understand. So where we can create a record types. So we have to go to object manager, and then we have to search for the object. So this is my custom object resource, and we have a record types over here. Record types, we don't have any record types. I'm going to give one record type. So my record name will be um, project customer resource. Not doing anything. Going on. Want to give a name as a customer, not a customer resource. So when we have a project, we'll be having some customer who we need to contact, right? So I want to give it as a customer only, not customer resource. They are not resource actually, but they are belongs to the a project. That's why I want to use that one. So resource here, and then save. And I want to have one more record type called project resource. I want to make it as an active, make it available. I want to make this as a default. Next. So now I don't have different layouts. So I'm assigning the same layout. Do a save. I'm going to page layouts, and I want to create a new page layout. And I don't want to copy anything here. So I want to keep it as for customer page layout. Okay, done. Save. And try to the naming convention also, whatever the record type name you have, try to maintain the same name. And when you have a specific to a profile, then follow with the record type name and then followed by a profile name. And if it's a page layout, make it as a page layout so that it will be easy for you to understand things. I'm just overriding these values and these values. And I don't want all these actions over here. I'm just removing it. Sorry. I don't know what happened to it. Customer page layout. So I have a contact project lead. Don't have a record type. Customer, they don't have any subscription. Or let's say they might have a subscription fee. They only have a subscription, nothing else. So they are not resource. They don't have any start date then. And they don't have a status formula also they don't have. And discount, yeah, I want to add a discount and discount percentage also for them. Okay, that's all. I don't need anything else over here. Mm, okay, done. And in the related list, I want to have files, and that's all. And resource history also, I want to have it here. Okay, done. In mobile action, I don't want to see all those things. I'm just removing everything from here. Okay, now that's all I want over here. I'm doing a save. Let's see. So we have the new customer page layout created. After I'm creating a record type, right? I'm doing a page layout assignment. So previously I assigned only one record type for all the things. So I want to change for customer. I want to give a customer layout for all the profiles. Customer page layout, and then do a save. Okay, it's done. Next, let's see how it behaves when we're trying to create a one. So project one, we have resources. I'm trying to create new. So you have two options. One is project resource, one is the customer. Let's see how the customer looks like. See there, we have is a in one place. So what happened here? Mm, yep. Why don't okay, there are calculator fields maybe. Okay, resource name. I will say it as a customer one, and project one subscription. I have a gold one. Fee I have 500. Contact I have sorry. Mm, Even the same. So customer one, right? So in this project one, how many resources we have? 5 resources. So in the 5 resources, I have one called customer one. In the customer one, these are all the fields I'm going to have. So if we just going to the project one, and let's see if how the resource, what happened here, how the normal resource will look like. So it will be a different layout what we having the other page layout. The hand different page layouts, fine. So what else we can create? We can have a this restricted pick list, sorry, or like we can limit the pick list values for a different page layout, different record types, right? So if you go to record type and go to customer, so we have a two pick list values, one is status, one is subscription. So status here, okay, obviously they should have both active and inactive. And then in subscription, we don't want to have for these two for customers, and then do a save. So next time when you open, so here if I go to a project one and go to resources, and a resource, I want to open the customer one resource. And if you want to try to change the subscription, what the hell it is? Okay, fine. I'll remove this activity, making a bus and related list. So I want to add the related list over here, and I don't want to related list here. Related list. That's the one highlight panel. Okay, then do a save and then activate. When you do a activate, see here, you have a new option. Previously, we have not explained how to assign to a record type and a profile. So now let's do assignment here also. That is at a page layout level. Now here it's a lightning page assignment. Previously, we made it as an app default. Now, now we do a assignment based on record type. Okay. Now, what is the app you want to assign? Okay, I want to assign for SF Tech app. Okay, for SF Tech app for mobile and for phone also, I want to assign. So which record types you want? I want only for a master record type. I want to add this page. And what are all the profiles you want to add? Only for these two profiles I want to add. Then next, then it will give you a review page. Just what are all the changes that will impact the profiles that it will confirm. So we have a system administrator and system admin profiles going to impact for both desktop and phone versions. The old page is system default. Now it's going to be a resource record page. Okay, do a save. And you thought that I don't want this name to be a resource record page. I want it should be a customer page. There should be a no spaces. Okay, then do a save. And you said, so at any point of time, if you want to switch back to other page also, you can switch from here. So what all the pages you have, you can see it on the pages list over here. Okay, so done here. I'm just going back and see how this behaves. So in resource, not only the detail one, but also the lightning page also I have changed. Okay, so that's where it's having a difference. So in normal resource, I have activities over here, and in a customer resource, I don't have activities. Instead, I moved this related list to here. Okay, done here. We're just good. I'm just creating some comments and do a save. And this how when you have an activity, it will just look like this. And if I have any upcoming events, just I want to have a I'm just showing you how to create those and how it will show it to you when you're having event. Mm, okay. So this is how it will look when you have a task or event. It will display like this. And then I have a log a call or new task. Both are similar things. And email, you can send the emails manually. So and it will capture it as a activity. So two, if you want to send to any user. You can just do that's it related to a city resource. When you do this related to, it will be linked to an activity to this resource. Okay. So what you can do email, log a call, new task, event, everything will be captured as an activity. So event means any meetings on your calendar that will be treated as an event. Any task or log, what all the activities that you are doing on the record that you can do as a log a call or a new task. Email also treated as an activity here. Okay. And basic symbols like refresh, expand all, view all. Yes, you have a different view of it, or if you have more details, it will show those details, and view all, it will give a more detailed information over here. That's it. Okay, any questions on the record types? Then we'll discuss, or I will move on to the next topic, roles and role hierarchy. Okay, so these three topics we can treat as a together, or we can say a similar kind of topics. So both are having common for users. So role and role hierarchy. So when we creating a user, I have showed you we can create a we have to select profile license and the role is an optional. It will say mandatorily optional. So let's say whatever the users we have now. So if you look at those users, you will be having a role assigned to it. So usually if you take any company, so what would be the role is, so let's say this is a user and I have not selected a role actually before. So it's not non-specified, but we have so many roles over here. So how the roles and why we use these roles. So if you have any kind of a roles, roles means what job or what is their kind of a designation in your company and to whom they report and how the hierarchy of the your reporting. Let's say you are a sales rep. Sales rep will report to a sales lead. Then he will sales lead report to a sales manager. Sales manager will report to a regional manager. Regional managers will report to a domain managers. Domain managers report to a CFO or CEO. Like it could be kind of a some kind of a tree structure where your the role hierarchy is defined in your organization. That is the to whom you report, or like what is the hierarchical structure of your designations in your company. Okay, so territory based sample and product based sample. This is a sample how you can have your visualization of the structure we have. Okay, but actual things are setting up the roles, and these are all what available in your org as a default roles. You think I don't need all these roles and I have a different set of roles, and you can ignore this or you can just delete and you can create your own roles and or you can assign the roles to the users. So let's say I'm just putting everything aside, and I want to create a new role under SF Tech. When you say SF Tech under, just um, it's the org, and in this org, how your architecture will be defined here. Okay, I want to create a new role, and this new role I'm going to call it as a sales rep, so make it more simpler. So this role reports to saying like initially I'm saying SF Tech info. So again, okay, assign users to this role. So I don't have any users to assign this role. I'm just going back to the step and doing a setup roles. So I have a sales rep here, and I want to add a other role called a sales manager over here, and the sales manager will report to this one. And now here, this sales rep is there, right? Sales rep has to report to a sales manager, or like before that, I want to create under sales manager, I have a sales lead. Okay, then the report to manager, and then I want to change this rep to report to a sales lead. So I'll change this. Mm, this role reports to um, sales lead. Okay, do a save and just check. Now this is my hierarchy. So I have a sales manager and sales lead and sales rep. So sales rep will report to a lead and lead report to a sales manager. So this is how my hierarchy is. And now, so these are the roles when you assign to a users. So if you assign 10 users as a sales rep, and so whoever the users that are having a sales lead, let's say two users are having a sales lead. That means this 10 reps is going to report to the those lead roles. Basically, like whoever they're on the lead role, that means they are going to be a direct hierarchical to the sales reps, and all sales reps are reporting to a sales manager. It's a role base. They can be a multiple people, so it's not to the individual person. It's to a group of people. So sales rep is a role, and it's going to be a group of people. Let's say, mm, just saving it as thing. Mm, what we're discussing here. Yep. No. So in my examples, what I am saying, so they are having a reporting as a single role. There could be a multiple roles also reporting to the higher role. So I have a different reps, like a sales rep, service rep. I have a different reps. Then what we'll do, we have one more rep called here's a the sales rep, marketing rep, and I can have one more called as service rep. So all these three different kind of roles of reps also reporting to the same lead. So again, for each group, they don't have a like not all, they're not all, not the single user. They could be a group of users. So sales rep, there are 10 people, and service rep, there are 5, and marketing, there are 15. Doesn't mean it's referring to a single user. It is referring to the group of users that are playing a role in your organization and to whom they are reporting. Similarly, you might have a different thing like you have only sales lead and service and only okay, like let's say marketing and sales have one lead and only service will have a different leads like sales and marketing lead and service lead you can have. So it could be any number of groups. How it could be like a more complex kind of a tree structured thing. But thing was we have one role to play for multiple users. Then you call it as a group when you call it as a role, and that role of users is reporting to a other role. Again, there could be a multiple users, and again they're reporting to us. It could be a single also. The possibility is that it could be 1 to n users that can be a part of the role. When there is a users assigned to that role, that group is going to report to a next role. So it only defines the hierarchy of your organization roles. Okay, and it's not belongs to a single user, and it's going to be a multiple users. You have to remember that. Okay. It nothing else it will define, and anywhere in your organization. So just try to understand more deeply. So I'm it could be a simple to you first time, but when we are going to explain the public group and queue, it would be more confusing. That's why I'm trying to explain with the stress. So this is also a group of users and they have a assigned role. So when you have referred in next topics, when you refer as a role, as a, let's say if you have a lead as a role, right? The role as a lead, then overall assigned users with a role as a lead, all that group will be considered. And there will be one more terminology called role and role subordinates. That means who are the having the role as lead, those users, and subordinates means
Bala, your voice is very low.
okay. How about now?
Yeah, no, it's good.
Okay. So when we saying role and role subordinates, the users that are using the same role and the group of roles are the users that are containing the roles below this role are like who are all reporting to this role. Those all will be considered as a subordinates who are all reporting to this role here in this scenario. So let's say we are taking the role and role subordinates of lead. Then we say lead, and then service rep, sales rep, and marketing rep. These 4 roles will be treated as a single group, and all the that means when we're saying a four group means who are all the users assigned with this role also considered. So we have mainly used the two terminology called a role and one more is a role and role subordinates. Okay, so one is going to be a roles and second will be a role and subordinates. Okay, so this two will be majorly we're going to use, but to whom you have now you have a clear understanding, I hope. And next one, we're saying a public group. Public group can we are nowhere defined, like if it's role means you have to define on the user record, right? Well, you're creating a user all anytime you have user records. If you want to assign any user to a specific role, then you have to define that yes, this user is going to be having this role, or you don't need to select who is the manager. Why? Because that hierarchy will be selected on the roles. But here you're going to assign just who is going to play that role. Just you will assign that role. So when you want to assign the role, you have to assign it on the user. Okay. Next one is a public group. When it's a public group, we are nowhere defined on the user or anywhere. We don't assign. Public group is also a group of users. So we create kind of we have a WhatsApp groups and all, right? So we just will create a one group called a public group, and we add the members to it. The members, group members will be nothing but a users. Users are nothing but a group members. We'll create a one public group and name it as whatever name you want, and you will add a users. They could be from different profile. They could be from different roles. It doesn't matter. They could be any random users can be picked onto a public groups. Okay, and it is not specified on the user record. And this public, when we use this public group also, most of the places from the topics where we had discussing going forward. Okay, so that is a public group. I will show you how to create a public group. And before moving on to that, a queue. Public group and queue are similar. Both are a group of users only, but the purpose is different. Public group is used to share something to the public group. Let's say if you want to share one record with a group of users which are, who are not belong to a specific role or hierarchy, or like a specific profile, you don't have anything specific to them. All are they're coming from a different roles or different profiles, or they could be from a same role also, but not all the role users. But let's say if your one role they have 10 members, and and you don't want to share to the all role members, and you want to have a subset of it, let's say only 5 of those role you want to create as a public group, and you want to share that record with only to the public group, you can do that. And and all sharing, not only the record, whatever that we're going to topics like reports, report folders, everything. So, and if you have a list views, so many places you might have already seen and not observed, so where we have option to share that information with a role or a public group. So tomorrow what we'll discuss about what all the places we already covered, or like in future also wherever we see we have, when we having a kind of a sharing, you see two options to the role or a public group. But what's the queue? Queue is also a group of users, but this group of users, we cannot share anything. It's not a sharing. It can be owner when we want. So if you have observed or not, when we have any record is created, there is a owner on that record. So always that owner is a single user. Even if you want to change the owner also, what are all the users we have in the system, that all will be displayed over here. Like what are the users you have, only those will be you will be able to see. But we have a one more option to make as a owner as a queue. This queue is nothing but a group of users. When we make queue as a owner of the record, then all the queue members can have a, or can behave, sorry, can have access to that record, and they can have a capability to change their ownership to themselves. Then again it will move from a queue to a single group. Usually when we use this queue based concept is when you have a some concept of having some bulk group of requests is coming in, and a group of users is acting on them. And whenever the requests are created, all the group users should have access to it. And once the request is been assigned to a single person, it no longer in that queue. It will be to transfer from a queue to a single person, so that they know who are uh, working. I'm sorry, what are all the records that are not assigned to a single person are still on the pool. The pool, the business scenario is when you have a group of requests which are unassigned to a single person and can be taken up by any queue of a group of users called a queue. In those scenarios, we can make the queue as a owner of the records. So all this 100 records, you make the owner as that queue, so that if the 10 members in the queue, so all the 10 members can see, okay, these are the 100 records in the queue. So I can take up some 3 or 4 to mine. And once you take up, it will be removed from that queue and it will assign to a, or it will be taken to that particular user who are assigning to themselves. And it will create one list view whenever you create a queue, and then from there you can take it up. Okay, so let's quickly create. So roles we already seen, so we can create a public groups. You can directly go to the public groups and just I want to give one name. Just I'm giving a random name. Okay, so you have option. Again, you can add other public groups to a, again, public group, or you can directly add all role members to a group, or role and role subordinates to a group, or you can just add users also to the group. Okay, same. So again, if you want to change the members of the group, you can come here and add it. You can do that all the time. Okay, and see, you have 4 options to add a group members. And then queues. Queues also kind of a same thing. When you have a queue, first you have to select the object. So my project queue. Okay, my object is going to be a project. So I want to add a project here, and I want to add 2 users as a. Here also have same option again, but it could be specific to objects. So only those object records can be a owner of the records in that object. Okay, so